Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily stock market video, and I want to do something a little bit differently today. There was news that broke by Dave Portnoy today via a Twitter announcement, founder of Barstool Sports, that he is backing a brand new ETF called Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, and they're basically going to track StockTwits, Reddit, you name it, these social media platforms. And basically, this ETF is going to incorporate the tickers that have the most buzz right now. So essentially, you might think that this is going to be a meme ticker. Basically, it's going to track all the meme stocks, but that's not truly accurate. Let's take a look at what this new ETF that actually begins trading this Thursday in just 2 days is all about. Just as a quick heads up, rough day again in the market today. Looks like we're back to old habits of last week. A lot of red on the board, like you can see. Big tech took a beating. The semis took a beating, but the overall market was red again. We were big green yesterday. We basically gave it all back today. So not a great day in the market. GME had a decent day actually. While the market was selling off, GameStop was actually up by a decent amount. But Rocket, let me know what you think about Rocket Mortgage, ticker symbol RKT, because was it squeezing today? Rocket went to the moon, very aptly named ticker, but Rocket had a huge day, up over 60% on the day. Will the steam continue tomorrow, or will the rocket fuel run out? Let me know in the comments below. But let's take a look at this new ETF that Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports is backing right now. So first, a little bit of background information. This is an article out of Benzinga on Yahoo Finance, and follow Dave Portnoy on Twitter. He's got that announcement video there. It's a very entertaining video, I will say. But this one, it says what to know about Dave Portnoy and the new Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, social media sentiment ETF. So right now, this is actually a VanEck ETF. So it's a fairly reputable company, right? VanEck, they have a lot of ETFs like SMH for their semiconductor ETF and many, many more. But they're just going to set up shop, like I said, on March 4th, which is this coming Thursday in 2 days. And this is very interesting. The ETF is going to use artificial intelligence to track social buzz on the top 75 large cap stocks each month. So the smaller tickers that came out of nowhere are not going to be included in this ETF. They're trying to incorporate big companies, established companies. And so in order for a company to be in this ETF, the stock has to have a market cap of over $5 billion. So something like GameStop can't be a part of this. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll leave that up to you to decide. This is not a meme ticker, basically. But he obviously promoted this new ETF, saying that the fund is something that I am a part of and that I am putting my face behind, my reputation behind. And so this index is going to use AI, or artificial intelligence, and they're going to monitor over 15 million online posts every single month. And from those posts, a basket of 75 stocks will be ranked each month using the algorithm. So here's the emergency press conference that Dave Portnoy held. It's on his Twitter page, or you can find it right here on this Benzinga article. But so really, why is this important? And actually, interestingly enough, the algorithm for this ETF was actually created 5 years ago. According to Portnoy, there was a prior ticker for an ETF that basically did the same thing, and the ticker symbol was Buzz, just B-U-Z. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But obviously this fund, just like the online sentiment on all these social media platforms like Reddit, StockTwits, Twitter, Wall Street Bets, it's going to be constantly rotating its positions like ETFs do. Obviously you want to keep up with the buzz that's out there. And the interesting thing is that this algorithm, they actually beat the S&P 500 by 42% last year. So the S&P 500 already had a huge year last year in 2020. This algorithm would have done you 42% even better than that, which is very interesting. And it says the Buzz Index has outperformed the S&P 500 since the index launched in 2015. Very interesting, very interesting. So like it said right here, the rise in stocks like GameStop has sent retail traders to search for sites for trade ideas based on what the majority of traders are getting into. And Portnoy says, gotta adapt, basically, right? I'm paraphrasing here, for the algorithm. But if you look at some of the holdings on Buzz right now, they're pretty established companies. Twitter, DraftKings, Ford, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, AMD, American Airlines, Netflix, Tesla. I'm going to be very curious to see what price this ETF opens up at, because you can get exposure to big companies like Apple and Amazon and Facebook on the cheap, Netflix on the cheap. And if this holds up, that this is going to outperform the S&P 500 as it has for over 5 years now, honestly, sign me up, because it sounds almost too good to be true. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Is this going to be ETF that you're willing to throw a few dollars at? Let me show you this one other article that came out. So this one is about the same thing. This one is out of Bloomberg. And the nice thing about this, so take a look at this. This is the graph of what I just told you. The blue line here is the S&P 500, basically from March of last year to essentially today. The white line, which is pretty much always above it, except for back in early March and April, that's the quote-unquote Buzz ETF. So looking very promising right now. I'm going to scroll down. So here's the prior ticker. So this was Buzz, B-U-Z. So this similar ETF tracking the same index, it launched back in 2016, and then it unfortunately closed in 2019 with just $8.8 million in assets. And this article basically says that the reason this ETF closed down was, I guess, because nobody was investing in it. And honestly, I didn't know this thing existed. Let me know if you knew about this ticker before, but this is my first time hearing about it. So it had to shut down, at least from what I'm understanding from the article, because nobody knew about it. Nobody was putting money into it. So basically, there was no point keeping it open. At least that's my understanding. So here's the official website of this ETF. If you're interested, the website URL is investwithbuzz.com. And you can see as of yesterday, February 21st, the S&P 500 was at 102, if you want to think about it that way. And Buzz was $1 more at 103. So the month-to-date return is already 1.35%. If you want to take a look at the past year, here's that same graph I just showed you in the news article. In 2020, you would have been up 85.5%. That's crazy. You would have basically doubled your money in an ETF. ETFs are supposed to be kind of the low volatility, just set it and forget it funds, but you would have almost doubled your money. Over the past 3 years, though, you would have been up over 31% annualized. Over the past 5 years, you would have been up 26.7% annualized. But again, this green line is pretty much always above the normal S&P 500 ETF, which is very interesting. Year to date, look at this. Big discrepancy here, up 15.5% year to date. I mean, can you imagine if you invested January 1st in literally pretty much 2 months and 2 days, you would have been up 15% on your money? That just sounds way too good to be true. That's orders of magnitude greater than having your money in a bank account right now. So let's take a look at what actually they're holding right now. If you go to their holdings here, take a look at this. You can see their current holdings. And again, these are not meme stocks, right? These are well-established companies. Twitter, DraftKings, Pinterest, Pfizer, Penn Gaming, Zoom, Boeing, Disney. I mean, these are big companies, and these are companies that apparently are being talked about the most on social media platforms. Activision Blizzard, therapeutics companies, Starbucks, Etsy. You know, this is probably the first time where if you look at an ETF's holdings, that I recognize every single company on this ETF. I mean, how many times do you open up an ETF holding and you only recognize maybe the top 5 or 10 holdings and you have no idea what the other companies are? These are all big name companies: Roku, AT&T, Goldman Sachs, or Goldman Sucks, depending on how you want to look at it. Uber, Salesforce, craziness. I mean, I'm excited, to be honest with you. I'm curious to see what price they open up at. I mean, if they can open up maybe at less than $50 a share, I might have to throw a few bucks into this because it's looking pretty promising. Again, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence. If you want to check out this website, it's, again, investwithbuzz.com. You can look at their performance. You can look at their current holdings and just do your own DD. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm very curious to see what other people think about this ticker. As always, make sure you join the Discord server if you're not in there already. Add me on StockTwits, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. And as always, hope you're having a green week, and I'll see you on the moon.